The sandbox of reality, why we can't detect everything. Why can't we see dark matter? Why do the multiverses remain theory, never evidence? Why does reality feel like a puzzle where half the pieces are forbidden? We live in a universe of extraordinary scope, filled with forces we suspect are there but cannot touch. We build ever stronger telescopes, smash particles at unimaginable speeds, tune instruments to cosmic whispers. And yet the answers still seem caged behind invisible glass. What if this isn't a failure of technology, but a boundary of design? Imagine for a moment that what we call the universe isn't the full game, but a sandbox, a self-contained simulation, a bounded space governed by curated physics and locked variables. Everything we perceive might be running on local rules. Everything beyond it, hidden, off limits, firewall protected, dark matter. We know it's there. We see its gravitational fingerprints, but its true form slips past every detector. Dark energy? We watch it pulling galaxies apart, but it never speaks directly. Why do these forces act like shadows of something just out of frame? Perhaps it's because they are. Not beyond our tools, but beyond our allowed perception. If this is a simulation, then there are zones we're simply not meant to access. Not for lack of curiosity, but because the engine behind the curtain won't render anything we weren't programmed to see. Think of it like a video game. In most games, not every room can be entered. Not every mountain can be climbed. The game only builds what it needs to show, just enough to keep the illusion alive. And when we push too far, we hit the wall, the skybox, the edge of the map. What if our universe works the same way? Multiverse theories suggest countless other universes, each with different laws, but every attempt to measure them fails. Not because they aren't real, but because they exist beyond the scope of our physics sandbox. Consciousness itself may be confined. Our senses are filters designed for function, not for truth. We see less than 1% of the light spectrum. We hear only a narrow slice of frequency. And our brains do not reveal the world. They model it. They compress it. They deliver just enough to play the game. And maybe that's the point. We're not flawed. We're optimized. Not to understand all things, but to navigate this specific level of reality. And what happens if we reach the edge? What if we build a machine so precise, a telescope so advanced, it peers into the unrendered? What if we detect what we were never meant to see? Maybe the simulation compensates. Maybe it reroutes the code. Maybe it simply shows us noise, or maybe, just maybe, it crashes. There are hints here and there. The holographic principle suggests our entire three-dimensional universe is a projection from a two-dimensional boundary. A cosmic UI over a deeper truth we cannot touch. Some physicists believe our universe could be a shadow on a higher dimensional screen. And if that's true, then no matter how far we stretch, how far we run, we may still be running on flat ground painted to look infinite. So what now? Do we give up the search? Do we resign ourselves to the sandbox? Not at all. Because maybe the point isn't escape. Maybe the point is evolution. To sharpen our instruments, to stretch the boundaries of thought, to press against the walls until one day they bend and the sandbox expands. Until then, the mysteries we chase, dark matter, multiverses, the limits of perception, may simply be messages from the edge, postcards from the outside, reminders that reality, for all its elegance, might be the curated surface of something far stranger. And when we look too closely, when the walls shimmer just a little, when the noise of the unknown grows louder than our answers, it may be the system whispering, "You've reached the edge," and that edge is exactly where you're supposed to be.